Hi, I'm Patrick Reagan. TCP/IP Part 8 shows you how to take an address and break it down on what subnet is part of, and then define everything about the subnet, including the network address, broadcast address, and so forth. The video is a continuation of the last two videos, Part 7, IPv4 Simple Subnetting, and Part 8, IPv4 Complex Subnetting. It's recommended that you watch these videos before watching this video. Similar to these videos, this is an excellent video to pause as needed, to look closer on what is on the screen, and to perform your own binary conversions. Let's look at our first example. Let's say you have the following address, 192.168.20.78 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.224. Answer the following questions. What is the subnet network address? What is the host address in the subnet? What is the broadcast subnet address? What is the first address available in the subnet? What is the last address available in the subnet? How many subnets can I have? And how many hosts can I have per subnet? Since the address begins with 192 address, we know that it's a Class C. Addresses that begin with 192 through 223 with a default subnet of 255.255.255.0. The 192.168.20.78 address and subnet mask binary conversions are shown on the screen. The first 24 bits indicate the larger network, the next 3 bits indicate the subnet bits, and the last 5 bits indicate the host address. The IP address and subnet mask converted to binary is shown on the screen. The subnet network address is where the host addresses are set to 0, which is equal to 192.168.20.64, which is answer 1. To isolate the host bits, we have 0.1110, which is equivalent to 0.0.0.14 on that subnet, which is answer 2. The broadcast address is where the host bits will be all ones as shown on the screen, which is equal to 192.168.20.95, which is answer 3. The lowest address is where the host bits will be almost all zeros. Therefore, the lowest address is shown on the screen, which is equal to 192.168.20.65, which is answer 4. The highest address is where the host bits will be almost all ones, as shown on the screen, which is 192.168.20.94, or answer 5. To calculate the number of subnets, we use the following formula. Number of subnets equals 2 to the subnet bits power. To calculate the number of hosts per subnet, you use the following formula. Number of hosts per subnet equals 2 to the host bits power minus 2. The minus 2 is because all zeros represent the network address for the subnet, and all ones represent the broadcast address for the subnet. So in our example, we can have up to number of subnets or sites, 2 to the subnet bits equals 2 to the third power equals 8, which is answer 6. And each subnet or site can have up to number of hosts per subnets or sites, 2 to the fifth minus 2 equals 32, minus 2 equals 30, which is answer 7. Let's take a look at another example. Let's say you have the following address, 10.176.0.0 with a subnet mask of 255.252.0.0. We're going to answer the same questions that we answered before. Since the address begins with a 10 address, we know that it's a Class A with a default subnet of 255.0.0.0. The binary equivalent is shown on the screen of 10.176.0.0 and the 255.252.0.0 subnet mask. The first 8 bits indicates the larger network, the next 2 bits indicates the subnet bits, and the last 22 bits indicate the host address. The network number addresses with the host bit set to 0. The binary is shown on the screen, which is 10.128.0.0. And the host address is derived from the host bits with all of the network bits set to 0. The host address is 0.48.0.0, which is answer 2. The broadcast address is where the host bits will be all ones. The binary is shown on the screen with all ones for the host bits, which is equal to 10.191.255.255, which is answer 3. The lowest address is where the host bits will be almost all zeros, as shown on the screen. Therefore, the lowest address is 10.128.0.1, which is answer 4. The highest address is where the host bits will be almost all ones, as shown on the screen, which is 10.191.255.254, which is answer 5. To calculate the number of subnets, you would use your 2 to the subnet bits power equation. To calculate the number of hosts per subnet, which is 2 to the host bits power minus 2. The number of subnets or sites is 2 to the second power, which is equal to 4, which is answer 6. Each subnet or site can have up to number of hosts per subnet or sites, 2 to the 22nd power minus 2, which is equal to 4,194,302, which is answer 7. Now, while this may not be a realistic example, since I doubt you're going to find a network that needs millions of hosts, it's an exercise in breaking down the address. You can search for and access multiple IP, subnet, and network calculators that are made to show you how to subnet a network or break down an IP address. When you enter the subnet mask of 255.255.255.224 or CEDAR notation /27 and the IP address of 73.151.135.103 and click the Calculate button, the right figure shows you the network address, usable host IP address, which shows the lowest and highest addresses, and the number of usable hosts. At the top of the right figure, there's a breakdown of subnets for the network with the network address and broadcasted network. Question. You have a host with the following configuration. IP address 10.1.2.23/27. The default gateway is 10.1.2.1. What is the local subnet broadcast for this address? Answer 10.1.1.31. The last octet 23, which is equal to 00010111. Subnet mask with /27 is shown on the screen, which indicates the last 5 bits are the host bits. For the broadcast address has 5 host bits set to 11111. Therefore, the last octet broadcast is 00011111, which is equal to 31. So the broadcast address is 10.1.1.31. Question. You have to configure a static IP address for a new subnet with the following requirements. IP address should use the highest address available. The default gateway needs to be set to 172.28.85.94. The subnet mask needs to be 255.255.255.224. What address should you assign? Answer 172.28.85.93. The last octet is 93, which is converted to binary as shown on the screen. The last octet of the subnet mask of 224 in binary is shown on the screen, which shows that the last 5 bits are the host bits. The highest address would be almost all ones, which is 01011110, which is equal to 94. However, .94 is the default gateway, so the next available address would be .93. For more information, visit these sites. In summary, subnet mask can be changed to take a large network and break it into several smaller networks called subnets. The subnet network address has all host bits set to 0, while the broadcast address has all host bits set to 1. The first and last usable address of the subnet is the address after the network address and the address before the broadcast address. Thank you for watching this video. The next video will be TCP/IP Part 9 DLSM. If you have not already, subscribe to the Pat Hedger back channel. Thank you.